Hi everyone, welcome back. It's Desert Rose. Good evening, good day, wherever it may be. And today I'm talking to you about godly women. So if we look at Proverbs 31, the perfect wife, from verse 10 to verse 31, it reads, "How hard it is to find the perfect wife. She is worth far more than jewels. Her husband depends on her. He will never be poor. She does good for her husband all her life. She never causes him trouble. She is always gathering wool and flax, and enjoys making things with her hands. She is like a ship from a faraway place. She brings home food from everywhere. She wakes up early in the morning, cooks food for her family, and gives the servants their share. She looks at land and buys it. She uses the money she has earned and plants a vineyard. She works very hard. She is strong and able to do all her work. She works late into the night to make sure her business earns a profit. She makes her own thread and weaves her own cloth. She always gives to the poor and helps those who need it. She does not worry about her family when it snows. She has given them all good warm clothes. She makes them sheets and spreads for the beds, and she wears clothes of fine linen. Her husband is a respected member of the city council, where he meets with other leaders. She makes clothes and belts and sells them to merchants. She is a strong person, and people respect her. She looks to the future with confidence. She speaks with wisdom and teaches others to be loving and kind. She oversees the care of her house. She is never lazy. Her children say good things about her. Her husband brags about her and says, "There are many good women, but you are the best. Grace and beauty can fool you, but the woman who respects the Lord should be praised. Give her the reward she deserves. Praise her in public for what she has done." So I guess being a woman of God, it's very important, especially for our husbands when we get them, or if you've got one already, because they have their role, the husbands, in looking after you and the children, but then there's a role that you are to play as well. I know it's modern days now compared to when this was written, and a lot of women work, but you still have a role. God still expects you to have a role, to look after your family as well. It's not just about the husband doing things. You have a role too. If you have a family, you have to look after your children, your house, and sort of respect your husband. Because if we're to respect ourselves, we need to respect others around us as well. So, we have to look after everyone. We have to look after our children if we've got children. We have to help around the house, cook food, and get our kids off to school. This is all part of being a woman of God, because we're just doing what God needs us to do, of looking after our family. Because, you don't want people to think that you're no good, and you're saying that you are a woman of God, but you don't show it. Take care in your household. Take the care in your children. And God will help you on that. He will give you that boost. He will give you the energy to look after your family. And He will, reward that by showing how well your family is growing. I mean, it talks about how she looks at land and buy it. She works late into the night. She makes sure her business earns a profit. She makes clothes and bed linen. And yeah, and this, she does a lot, but it's just kind of an example of what God expects. God still expects us women to actually stand on our own 2 feet, take care of our family, and help the husband, because when God created woman, he made her out of the side of the man, so that we're an equal team. So even being working in the house, if we're a stay-at-home mum, we're not less than our husbands. We are still equal, but we still have our roles, our jobs to do, and God would like us to continue those roles. God doesn't think less of women. He thinks a lot of women. He created us women. So he's not going to be just like, oh yeah, I just created women just to reproduce. That's it. No, he created women because they're still an important part of his will. So he expects us to treat people fairly, like our family and people outside the household, that we're representing our family and ourselves. Because it talks about in verse 26, she speaks with wisdom and teaches others to be loving and kind. This is our example. We show that by how we treat our children, how we treat our spouse, and that can reflect out into the world of how we treat others and how we can talk to others. Because if we're going to help other people parenting, or how it is with being married, we have to actually be that example. We have to do it ourselves instead of just, saying to someone, oh, you should be doing this, you should be doing that. We have to show that ourselves, and it's important that we show God that we can do this. Because remember, children are a gift to the womb. So God wants us to show that we don't, take for granted his gift of the children, or a gift of being married to a spouse. So we have important roles as women in God's eyes, because we're also representing Christ in everything we do. When we're taking care of our family, when we're out in the world, whether we're working or getting groceries for our family, whatever it may be, we're always representing how our family is, how we treat our family within the mix of, of how we are to Christ and how important Christ is to us. And we would rather people say good things about us than negative things. So we have to keep trying. We have to keep trying every day and asking God for us, for strength to keep going with our family. Because yes, sometimes it's going to be hard times. It's struggles sometimes, especially children growing and things changing all the time within the family dynamics and household and all of that. So we need God to back us up so we can represent God, we can represent our family. So it's important that we can stand strong on our own 2 feet and just, feel confident within ourselves that we can take care of our family, take care of our household, and do what is needed to keep the running of it all running smoothly. Yes, ups and downs happen, changes happen, but we just got to keep going, keep running that race into looking after our family and our husbands and making sure everything is going fine. And, if there's hard times, we got to still keep strong. We got to still keep asking God for that strength. We can't just give up if it's hard times. So So in verse 27, she oversees the care of our house. She is never lazy. Because when she takes care of her house, she's taking care of her family. Because she's making sure that the house is clean. There's food on the table. There's food in the bellies at any time. There's lunch going to schools if the children go to school. Or there's lunch given to the husband to take to work. We just got to keep going. Keep showing that we can do this job that God has given us, which is to raise a family or be a wife, be a mother. And respect ourselves. Once we respect ourselves, it's going to be a lot easier to respect everyone else around us. It's verse 17. She works very hard. She is strong and able to do all of her work. Well, we can do that, especially within God's strength. Verse 18. She works late into the night. She makes sure her business earns profit. Well, you could relate that to, she could be the last one down to bed because she's looked after her family right up to the last moment, put her children to bed, fed them dinner, give them baths, and made sure her husband has come home from work and had the dinner. Whatever happens, we've still got to play our role and be women of Christ. So God does think women are important and their roles are important because He's laid it out in Proverbs 31 on how we should do things. Yes, family are different dynamics, different things, but the overall basic stuff is still the same. Feeding, making sure everyone's got clothes, a roof over their head, whatever the circumstance, that's the same for everyone. There might be children with disabilities that might need extra care and extra this, that, and the next thing. Well, you add that to what you need to do anyway, and God will give you the strength and able to do what that child needs. If they've got disabilities, He wouldn't have given you that child if He didn't think you could look after that child. So God does think highly of women. Women are important. There's a lot of people out there that think that, oh yes, because God made Adam first and Eve second, that Adam has the higher ground with God. That's not the case. Women, you are all still so important to God. You're important to His will, His plan. And if your role in His plan is to have children, raise children, and, just help your children grow, well, then that's important to God. So that makes you important to God. Whatever the case may be, you need to raise your family the way that Christ wants you to raise them. And if things come up hard and you have hard situations and you have no idea where to turn, what to do, go to Christ first. He'll be able to help you. And, he has the answers. He's the one who sees the future. He knows the right path to take. He will help you take care of your family if something comes up. He's the one who understands everyone the most. The people down the street, they may know you. You could be family friends with them. But you can only sort of ask them so much for advice when God's the one who knows you and your family. So we always go to God first. He's the one who helps us carry on with our day, helps us raise our family, do what we need to do to be a woman of God, a woman of the household, a wife, a mother. So just just do what you need to in order to make your role be important to your family and it is completed. Because even if you don't feel like you're doing right, you may still be doing right by God because you're still taking care of your family and they're still alive at the end of the day, even if you are struggling and you have a cry at the end of the day because you think everything went wrong. Well, you're still alive, you've still got your family, God's still there. All God wants you to do is just take your role as important as He feels your role is important. And any time He's always there to help. If you're having a hard time within your family, within your role, if you're having disagreements with your husband, God is there. He is the one who is able to help you and to help you stand on your own 2 feet to complete your role that He has given you. So trust Him, make Him a part of your family. And then you'll be able to fulfill those rules that God has set out within the Proverbs because you have God included. And you can be the best woman that you can be, the best woman of Christ, the mother, the wife. As long as you have God involved, what is there to stop you? That is your power. Your power is God. He's the one who's able to get you through. Even if you have teenagers that rebel or younger children that rebel, God is the answer. God is the answer. He is the one who can help you stay strong and deal with those situations. Because you're still fulfilling your role that He has set out for you to do. And once you fulfill that role and you step into that role as a woman of Christ, then you'll be making God happy and everyone else happy and yourself happy. So, even though God has set out these rules in Proverbs 31 on how to be a woman, to be a wife, to be a mother, at the end of the day, our answer is still God. God is the only one who's able to get us to where we need to be able to get the task done. God is always the answer. Even if there's like a whole list of rules on how to be a mother, a wife, someone who takes care of the household, we could still be doing that. But we could be doing it in our own strength rather than God's. So it's important when we complete these roles, we're still including Christ. God did make these rules. He's put them in His Word. But that's because He still expects you to be including Him. It is His Word. It is His scriptures at the end of the day. And whether we can be the best mother on the planet, the best wife on the planet, it's still important to include God. So keep Him included. Because even if you have really good days, there's chances that you could have really bad days. So you're going to need Him. And He is your answer to whether it's the good or the bad. So keep Him included. And then you can be that role model, the best mother, the best wife. Can take care of your family, your household. And you can do it with confidence when you are with God. So just trust Him. And when you're unsure or you're struggling, make sure, go to Him. Say, Today, God, I'm struggling. I can't do this alone. I need your help. I need your strength. And He will be there. He will be by your side. He'll be holding your hand and taking you through. He might expect you to have a bit of a cry out and get it out of your system and then get back to being focused on what you need to do. But either way, God is your answer to being that woman of Christ. Because God didn't make Eve below Adam. So we are not below men. We are equal to man. We are equal. And God sees that too. So that's why He wants to lift us up and be confident women, confident wives, confident mothers. So He's willing to put in if you're going to put in as well. So everything just relates back to God at the end of the day. And then you'll be able to have a lot of successes. And you'll see your children grow up in front of your eyes. You'll have a really good marriage if you include God. And He helps you be that confident woman that you need to be. Alright, thank you guys. I hope that helps someone or people. I am doing free prophetic words. So email me, link is in description. Like, share and subscribe if this helps you. And if you're led to donate, link is in description. And we'll see you next time. Bye.